Okay, so what I got here is the Motorguide Xi3. Just recently purchased this. This has the pinpoint GPS. As you can see, I have it fully powered on. I got the quick release system here established. So I've got the Anderson connectors connected right here to the power supply. Power supply is going to a 12-volt Kota lithium battery. And the way I modified this real quick just to show you, I took a DeWalt Tough System 2.0 system, wired that all in, got the fuse installed, did my own wiring, ran it out through the side, going straight to the motor and all other accessories for the kayak. But here is the number one reason why I think Motorguide outperforms and does better when it comes to kayak fishing. I want you to take note when I go ahead and push this for the turning. You hear how quiet that is? It's extremely quiet. And I'm sure if you have pinpoint GPS, it's not going to make a ton of noise. Now let's go ahead and see if we can establish turning on the trolling motor itself. Okay, I have that set right now at power 1 and the prop is rotating. Don't hear anything. Still going. Very quiet. Let me see if I can get closer. Okay, the hum's starting to kick in. Got a light hum. Okay, it's humming. Full power, and I'm going to stop it. Now from that alone, you were roughly able to hear the sound and to see how it made the somewhat of a decibel noise. From there you were able to see the sound of the from there you were able to sound roughly of how the hum is when the motor is engaged, and most importantly, the light winding noise that you'll hear from the inside. But overall, this motor comes in roughly at, I think 30 pounds is what I weighted on the scale. So what I want to do now is put this motor away and throw on the Minn Kota power drive. So what I want to do now is compare the Minn Kota power drive 55-pound thrust equivalent to this to show you a comparison of how the sound is from when you're accessing the turning points, when you're accessing the remote, the size of the remote, and the capability of it. Okay, 1 second, gonna come right back. And I guess this is a good feature to actually cover also. So when I turn on the prop, this blue light indicates that the prop is on. So there's always a visual element that will tell you things are on. So you have a light for power supply, you have a light for GPS, and you have a light for the prop itself. So let's take a look now at the Minn Kota power drive. And I guess this is another key element that we should all consider is this pedal. As you can see, this Motorguide Xi3 has been modified. What they did here was they drilled a hole, so that way when you have this cable line running straight to your kayak, all you have to do is push down, pull your motor up, and then that way you can stow it. But as most of you already know, that you can tie a lanyard onto the neck of that motor, so that way you don't have to worry about reaching over into your kayak to manually grab that yourself. You can adjust that all in your kayaks or whichever. All right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab the top part of the trolling motor, disengage it, bring that up, and bring that up right here, and stow it. There we go. So you have to make sure that the pedal, you have to make sure that this pedal is all the way fully engaged down when stowing, because otherwise if you don't, this will always lock. See, it won't let you go through. Engage, let it go, you're fully locked in. And I guess one thing I shouldn't actually neglect either is the remote. As you can see, this is the Motorguide remote. It's pretty much fits in the palm size of your hand. So you have your anchor button, your left and right turn. I believe this button right here is for north heading. You control the speeds here with plus or minus for if you want to go faster or slower. This button, I'm not quite sure what it is, but I'll find out. And I believe each one of these buttons here is like a quick access for which speeds you want to engage in right away. Okay, and now we have the iPilot Minn Kota. This is also paired. This is the power drive model. And then here is the remote for this. The nice thing about this remote is it's LCD, so you do got like a bunch of additional features and options if you have the puck. This is for plus or minus for the speed. You have the control for the prop. You have spot lock, unlike Motorguide, which they call it anchor. So you have those options, and then you have yeah, there's a ton of options in the systems. Like, it's basically, this is built primarily more for a boat trolling motor, but again, the reason I went with this is because of financial affordability. So this was the best option at the time when I got it. This originally didn't have this. I actually installed this myself and adapted all the pieces and wired it myself, so that way I can actually utilize this for the remote itself, because originally I had a foot controller. Now, unlike Motorguide, this has the options where it just shows you the battery power supply, because that's pretty much all you're looking for in their end. So let's compare now the sound and capability. This is still running on the same 12-volt power. So let's hear the sound difference between. So we're going to compare the sound difference on the prop itself, just so you can get an idea of how the sound is compared to the other one. So we're going to do a sound comparison, this against the Motorguide, just so you have a better understanding of why I think the Motorguide is actually better. So I'm going to turn it on 1 speed and go up 1. So you're going to go up half a speed. So as you can see on this one, with the trolling motor, seems to be a little quieter, but I'm going to keep going up now. I have a little bit more of a noticeable hum on this. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to hold this just in case when I go faster it doesn't wad off, because I don't have this bolted down right now. 5, 6, 7, we're at 8, 9, 10. And you know what, quite frankly, to my surprise, I think this one is quieter than the other one for when it's in action and moving. So for when you have it engaged, it moves less. Alright, so what I want to do now is I'm going to go ahead and throttle down, turn the prop off, and then here is where I think the kicker is. I'm going to start engaging rotation. Here we go. You hear that? You hear that loud hum? That loud servo that rotates this? That's a lot louder than Motorguide. Way louder. Okay, so this is the other reason why I think Motorguide is a lot better too. Now, in order to stow this, what you have to do is, I don't have this customized like the Motorguide, so what you do have to do is you have to either drill a hole here or put some kind of tandem where you can engage the unlocking mechanism. So I'm going to lock that up and then lift this up. This is a little bit heavier. Alright, it's kind of hard to record and do this all at the same time. Alright, got that there. Here we go. And this is slightly heavier because this whole bottom piece is a lot longer because there's a bigger commutator on it. And then here's the catch. I'll try to push that in. It's not like the Motorguide where it lets you in easier. So, I mean, this stuff right here really makes you work for it. So I'm gonna. Alright, there we go. Now, unlike Motorguide, this one really makes you work. And just like Motorguide, you can't use this. This, compared to Motorguide, this will not allow you to fully deploy it. It doesn't release these pins right here, these brackets, that allows it to smoothly come out. So when you're on the water, what you have to do is manually push this locking mechanism here. And it does require a little bit of effort to unlock. I'm going to push it back in. So a little bit more manual work and effort to get this going. But yeah, I mean, when you compare this for the weight, you get about 1 pound more on the Minn Kota power drive. And you have to modify it. As I said, this was originally set up for a boat. I had to modify it, install the GPS, which cost me roughly like $400. Then I have to cable it and wire it, buy a new shaft, buy a new housing system, bought new brushes, a new commutator. Everything worked fine. Even now it still works fine. I love this thing. But frankly, I just don't think for the speeds that I'm trying to achieve when it comes to tournaments or bigger lakes that I want to explore more areas, it's not effective for me because I like to cover a lot more water and get in and out faster. So this is the whole reason why I wanted to do this, is because for the longest I debated myself and I tried to figure which one do I go with. Do I keep this one or go to the Motorguide? If I, as an angler, was deciding to go with a tournament setup for my kayak, that I want all these capabilities to be quieter, sneaking up on the fish, a little bit more if I can afford it on the price point, I would go with Motorguide. Now, I'm not a fanboy of either or. I love my Minn Kota. It's been a workhorse for me since I got it. I've got like 2.5 years of doing the tournaments. But for me, I would preferably, if I could do it all over, I would have went with the Motorguide. One, it's lighter. By 1 pound, it is lighter. 2, it's quieter. So if you're in a tournament, you need all of those stealthy skills to sneak up on these things. Simply alone, why I would choose it is because of the stealth. Now, if you have a great warranty on either or, that could be also a reason why you would pick one over the other. But for now, I just wanted to cover this and to show you the reasons why I think Motorguide is better than Minn Kota Power Drive. Not only because it is quieter when you are trying to use them in tournaments. Maybe that's just me, or who knows, maybe it's just the West Coast style of fishing. These fish are more spooky. You can easily scare them as soon as you pull up. And as I've seen too in the recent expo in Sacramento, you throw one small thing or one small noise, they're out. They're spooked and they're gone. All right, well, I hope this video helps you.